to What's Right with the World with your host, Glenn Ambrose.
So start talking now until you point, and then you're pointing. Are you pointing? Hey, everyone. Welcome to What's Right with the World.
Oh, man.
Oh, this is a good one.
If I can't edit that, then I'm just putting the whole "are you pointing" thing on.
Oh, do it. Absolutely, do it. We got to do it. Put it up on Patreon, too.
Yeah. Patreon.com/Glenn Ambrose.
Oh, my God. Yes. So what's right with the world? Here we are. What the heck is right with the world today, Ben?
Well, today we are
Barber.
talking. Thanks. No need to say my full name.
Benjamin Barber.
All right.
What's your middle name?
I'm not telling you.
Benjamin something Barber. I'll make one up.
People listen to this podcast all over the world. They don't need to know my middle name.
Benjamin Albert Barber.
Bab. People call me Bab.
Babs. That's what they used to call my mom.
Well, her name is Barbara, right?
Yeah.
And her social security number is.
And then they called her Barbs. And I think sometimes it turned into Babs.
All
Maybe
right.
because we lived in New England. There's no R's in New England.
Oh, jeez.
There's no R's.
So anyway, what's right with the world is what we're here to discuss.
Yes. There's a new study that we are taking R's out of the alphabet entirely. And that's what's right with the world.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We're putting an H in place.
So this article is from the BBC. Groundbreaking diabetes insulin drug trialed in Cardiff, Wales. A groundbreaking drug that helps people with diabetes regrow insulin-making cells has been developed. About 19,000 people live with type 1 in Wales. 90% have less than 5% of these cells. This means they have to inject insulin, but it is hoped that this new drug will mean patients may not have to in the future. The trials have been conducted by researchers in Cardiff at Vale University Health Board, and 2 people have been given the drug already. Currently, it costs the Welsh government about 50 million euros a year treating people with diabetes. Problems occur when blood glucose levels. All right, so we know what diabetes is, I believe. The drug could mean that they are no longer dependent in injecting it. So basically, the first 2 patients in the world have been dosed with this drug, which helps regrow the insulin-making beta cells of the pancreas. And they were monitored closely over 72 hours, and neither of them have had any major side effects.
Well, that's a start.
Yeah, I mean, most of these drug, pharmaceutical, life-saving, hopefully drugs that we talk about are, not being tested yet on humans. So
yes.
The fact that, actually, you might say 72 hours without any side effects, not a huge deal. But when you get to this point in the drug making process,
that they feel that they can start testing it on humans safely. That's a big leap forward.
Absolutely. And this would be a huge deal. I mean, obviously diabetes is something that affects millions and millions of people around the world.
Absolutely.
And if we can find a way to sort of curtail that would be fantastic.
Right. And I think the thing that kind of jumped out at me when you were reading the story too was the cost, because it's, I don't have diabetes, so I haven't thought about it that much, but it's the cost of it. That is something that is you constantly have to have the injections and stuff like that. That's something that's, on a regular basis that's ongoing all the time. And if they can develop something where people aren't dependent on that aspect of treatment, where they don't need it anymore, that could dramatically drop the cost and make people's lives, a lot more manageable. So
for sure. And I'm not sure. So, I'm not really sure what the diabetes, what the type 2, like what effect this would have on people with type 2 diabetes. But first of all, any situation, is an improvement to what we have now. And I believe that if it's making insulin for the pancreas, then it should be able to be used for both. But I'm not a doctor, and I don't play one on this podcast.
and I have no idea.
So,
but it's a step in the right direction, and that's what it is. And hey, I think I like to be honest, no matter what we're talking about. And the honest fact is that, when we're talking about medications and stuff, there's the other side of the coin. And, there's medications out there that's got 6 billion side effects and all this stuff. And I think in our society, we lean too far on medications just to put Band-Aids on things that we should be able to fix in other ways. So I still believe in that, but that doesn't mean that, some medications aren't good. And us using the technology that we've developed to head in a direction of solving these things. And that's what we're talking about on What's Right with the World. I wanted to mention the other because it's I do see the other side, and it can be frustrating. It's like, there's a pill for everything. I was driving down the road a few years ago, and I still remember this, that they came out with a pill, and it was for people who worked different shifts at their job. And they came up with this thing. It was called shift differential disorder. And they had a pill to help you adjust your sleep, I think, for it. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I work different shifts. Like, it takes you a week or two to adjust your sleeping habits. And people who work swing shifts, it's difficult. I get it. But creating a disorder around it and then giving people a pill, I think is I think is a little much, So I think our society does go too far in that direction, in my opinion. But I'm not going to lock onto that mindset and say, oh, all prescriptions are bad, all drugs are bad, there's never a good use. And no, we're using technology to work towards a solution. Are these always the best solutions? No, not always, but sometimes they are. And that's what we're putting a spotlight on, saying, hey, you know what? These companies are using technology to walk us in a direction that's hopefully going to enhance people's lives. And, that's what's right with the world.
Absolutely.
I mean, are there certain laws allowing drugs to be passed that shouldn't be passed? And do doctors prescribe things? Yeah, that's what's wrong with the world. We hear that on the other shows. This is what's right with the world. So we're focusing on, the fact that the technology is putting this stuff out there. And we do have hope for people that struggle with different things to have a more manageable life and a less invasive life, like, taking injections on a regular basis.
Yeah, this would be fantastic. And that is definitely what's right with the world this week. So you can find that article in the description of this episode. And if you have any articles or good news that you'd like for us to talk about, you can send that to us on Facebook or whatever using the Great Love Project or hashtag What's Right with the World. Or you can email them to Glenn or find out more info about Glenn at glennambrose.com. And of course, you can check out a video of this show and support the show on patreon.com/Glenn Ambrose. Glenn, you got anything else?
I don't think so. I think that's it.
Awesome.
I think you wrapped it up nicely, Benjamin Albert Barber.
Babs.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening, and we will talk at you soon.
Glenn is available for life coaching sessions. To book an appointment or for more information, go to glennambrose.com, follow him on Facebook and Twitter, or click the link in the description of this episode.